2018 Citroen C1 Review. The good points of Citroen C1. Distinctive looks. Low running costs. Fun airscape trim. The bad points of Citroen C1. Cramped cabin. Noisy engines. Miserly spec on basic model. Since its introduction in 2005, Citroen sold a lot more than 760,000 instances of its original C1 city car. It's well liked by learner drivers, young mums, empty nesters and everyone amongst. And with valid reason. The new Citroen C1, provided with both 3 and 5 doors, provides extensive to live as much as, especially in terms of sales. Luckily, it's got the looks and affordable to make its way to the same shopping lists, but there are lots of other improvements. Citroen C1, quality upgrades. To be sure that increased desirability, Citroen has upped the high quality this smart city car sports offer. It's integrated the same factory as the Peugeot 108 and Toyota Go counterparts. All end of the engineering continues to be handled by Toyota, meaning the C1 is considered the most solid supermini through the French firm yet. Inside there's a 7.0-inch infotainment system consisting of radio, Bluetooth, video player with an onboard computer. Mirror link technology allows the driving force to copy smartphone content on top of the multimedia system, though inside our experience it wasn't quite as slick in reality as it sounded in writing. You'll also notice keyless entry, hill start assist, climate control, heated seats, reversing camera and memory settings for the front seats around the standard and optional kit lists. Citroen C1, petrol engines only. Buyers from the C1 are tied to a 2 of petrol engines to select from. Both have 3 cylinders and they are either 1.0 or 1.2 liters bigger. The former develops 70 horsepower, but as the C1 weighs under 1,000 kilograms still manages to feel sprightly enough out partying, regardless of the 13-second 0.62 miles per hour time. Those with a quest for speed would excel to look elsewhere. The 1.2-liter PureTech engine develops 84 horsepower which enables it to complete the 0.62 miles per hour sprint in 10.9 seconds. Like its smaller brother, it can do its work best before 30 miles per hour, though. Either way, both engines are vocal, which has a distinct 3-cylinder thrum that never truly disappears. A good cruise. To take the mind off it, both will slip under 100 gkm of CO2 emissions along with the smaller engine promises approximately 74.3 miles per gallon. The larger 1.2-liter PureTech delivers in excess of 65 miles per gallon in official fuel consumption tests. That means they are both cheap to operate, on account of low fuel bills and rates. A good-looking small hatchback. Buyers trying to find some personality making use of their C1 should investigate Airscape model, which boasts an electrically folding fabric roof that runs the length in the cabin, offering wind inside the hair motoring without any with the scuttle-shake shortfalls. Otherwise the C1 comes in 3 trims, touch, feel and flare using the 800 by 7/16 fabric roof Airscape option offered on feel or flare only. There are 8 exterior colors from which to choose, along using the option for that Airscape roof being either black, gray or red to contrast or match the bodywork. Inside the dashboard, air vent trim, gear lever base and door panel trims is usually specified in brighter colors to call home up the cabin. Small, though with added practicality. Designed quite definitely with cities at heart, the new C1 is leaner and narrower than before, aimed towards helping maneuverability in tighter spaces, and features low rolling resistance tires to lessen fuel consumption. Electric power steering means the wheel is light but direct, while hill start assist preps any slope steeper than 3%. It'll hold 4 people too, whether or not the rear bench is best suited for the children rather than adults, while boot space while using seats setup totals 196 liters and 780 liters together with the rear bench folded. The verdict: small, trendy and cheap to perform, the Citroen C1 is deservedly popular. Particular pluses are the excellent 1.2-liter PureTech engine, its tight turning circle and relatively comfortable ride. Although this has been around a bit, will still be up there together with the best-in-class Volkswagen Up, although its residuals and image aren't as strong since its German-badged rival. A good budget buy, but check around for a good deal. Watch on Inside Citroen C1 full review whether or not this has got what can be done to best its rivals within the city car sector. You must be inside mood for top-level Citroen C1 performance, as both 3-cylinder petrol engines crave high revs if you're hoping to generate any form of meaningful progress. In fact, irrespective of whether you opt for your 1.0 or 1.2-liter triple, you'll need to become close to 6,000 revolutions per minute for optimum power and torque, although larger example is marginally more willing lower down. Wind within the smaller engine for the max and you'll scrabble, noisily, from 0.62 miles per hour in 13 seconds. In case you've got a protracted enough stretch of road, then 96 miles per hour is theoretically possible. For a similar set of figures, the greater 1.2-liter PureTech will manage a use of 10.9 seconds with an absolute of 106 miles per hour. In truth though, both cars perform best of their act on lower speed, where their relative lightness is important, and they are far more suited towards the 0.30 miles per hour dash instead. Either way, you'll understand about the C1's progress, because triple-cylinder engines are definitely not hushed, emitting a characterful but sometimes tiring thrum when your speed increases. There's no diesel engine available to the C1, which isn't surprising because of the leap forward with petrol technology, and also the efficiency gains that were seen in modern times. If you need or want a mechanical gearbox, there may be one provided by the 1.0-liter engine only. If you're choosing a C1 and dreaming about tight sporty handling, after that your hand need to have slipped while browsing the Citroen Configurator, a fancy car this is not. However, it is an American city car, with suspension designed with the rigors of city life. That means in spite of the short wheelbase 2,340 mm, the C1 copes together with the lumps and speed bumps from the city effortlessly. Along with light steering, matching the other control weights from the car equally, celebrate the Citroen a superbly easy drive and automobile city car. And as it's certainly not at home on vacation, it's not disgraced either. Sure, there's many body roll being experienced, but nothing surprising or untoward. And if you are doing experience an excessive amount of for your liking, the basic answer is to slow down. Get within the fact the center console looks a little to be an angry Stay-Puft Marshmallow Man in the Ghostbusters film, and you'll realize the cabin from the new Citroen C1 is usually a step forward on the previous models. Certainly quality is a lot improved, and although it might not match a VW Up or Skoda Citigo for ambience and solidity, it's less utilitarian than before. The modular construction, having a distinct instrument pod to match that center console, looks young and funky, just because the designers clearly intended. Next, towards the speedometer, there exists a neat rev-counter display, and it's all very easy to watch for the move. You do sit high, and quite upright, behind the 3-spoke controls, although C1 is wide enough to make sure you're not constantly scraping shoulders along with your front seat passenger when about to move. And once you're used to your driving position, you'll be quite comfortable, even on longer journeys. Choose the Airscape model, a trim that Citroën UK expects to become popular, and you'll take advantage of the open Caravan convertible on account of that fabric roof that slides back on the rear in the car without any from the associated shaking or flex. Roof open. Celebrate the cabin brighter and feel a bit larger than it is usually, whether or not headroom within the rear does suffer for doing it. One thing that could take some getting familiar with is the 7-inch touch drive interface, which uses mirror screen technology to gain access to and display any content out of your smartphone, like apps plus your music, within the central screen, which didn't feel entirely intuitive make use of during our experience in the little Citroën. The French firm is recognized for its ride quality, so desires Citroën C1 comfort are high, and also the good news is the fact that in general it scores well in this field. Around town, at low speeds especially, the soft suspension means it digests lumps and bumps without bother, and also the C1 is relaxing and an easy task to drive around urban environments. That said, you should learn to love the thrum with the 3-cylinder engine that is especially apparent under hard acceleration, which can be another thing you'll ought to get utilized to since the C1 wants a firm prod through your right foot to advance at any pace. The front seats are snug too, though they actually sit quite high, plus the steering wheel only adjusts for angle, so slotting yourself to your perfect driving position isn't everything that easy. There's only room for 2 inside the back though, and taller adults will quickly realize traveling back there a pain inside the neck, literally. Like the C4 Cactus, DS4 along with the previous C1, the trunk windows only pop outwards on hinges, instead of wind down. Even so, the optional Airscape fabric roof must provide enough oxygen even for those from the rear. However, as it may battle to match current class leaders just like the VW Up, it's still an improvement above the previous model in regards to comfort. There are 3 trim levels available for that Citroën C1: Touch, Feel or Flare, even though the optional Airscape fabric roof is merely available around the latter pair. Standard Citroën C1 equipment. Buy the most basic Citroën C1 and you'll have to expect a simple specification, because the Touch model does with no excellent 7-inch touchscreen as well as air conditioning. What it can include is Hill Start Assist, which props up car setup on slopes while you move aloof from a standstill, 6 airbags, LED daylight running lamps, rear ISOFIX points, remote central locking, front electric windows along with a 2-speaker stereo with USB and MP3 capability. If you need to experience an improved stereo, then your mid-spec Feel may be the model to choose, which has a 4-speaker DAB radio and leader-mounted controls. The 14-inch steel wheels in the Touch model are substituted with 15-inch models with assorted covers, while the trunk benches now split 50 hours 50 minutes when folded down. Drivers could be more comfortable on account of the height adjustable seat and air conditioning, even though the inclusion from the 7-inch touch drive screen is often a welcome addition that definitely makes the cabin feel far more premium. That includes the mirror screen function, which enables smartphone keepers to sync a selection of their phone's display and content with all the touch screen, including save functions. To use it, you have to download an app called App in Car that is compatible with both Apple and Android-based phones. The final trim within the lineup could be the Flare model, which adds 15-inch alloy wheels, tinted rear windows plus a chrome window surround for the exterior on the C1. While the back windows are still in the pop-out variety, the wing mirrors are heated and electrically adjustable, and there's a rev control just behind the leather tire. You'll want to keep within the right side with the law using the speed limiter as well as the correct side on the fence due to the reversing camera. Airscape specification models are simply just available about the top 2 trims, whilst the Touch contains the 1.0-liter 69 bhp engine, The feel adds the option on the PureTech 1.2 plus the flare might be specified together with the 1.0-liter with stop-start, the conventional 1.2-liter plus the ETG automatic robotized manual gearbox. At launch there's a limited edition Airscape Feel Edition model which gets stripy body pillars, bright red interior trim and alloy wheels. Optional Citroen C1 accessories. There exist several option packs for your Citroen C1, such as Serenity Pack 250 pounds which adds a speed limiter and reversing camera, Automatic Pack 300 pounds including auto AC, headlights and heated electrically adjustable door mirrors. The Automatic Pack plus 570 pounds adds keyless admission to that list while an array of color packs changes exterior and interior trim details for brighter more personalized choices. Rear head restraints are only 50 pounds, while a rev counter is 40 pounds, the place saver rear wheel 70 pounds and also the reversing camera just 150 pounds. Currently Euro NCAP still hasn't takes a hands on one, but we'd expect Citroen C1 safety to become better than the last model, which notched up 3 stars last 2012. We'd easily be surprised, as would Citroen, if the score is lower than 4 stars on this occasion out. There are 6 airbags suited to all C1s as standard, comprising a front, side and head system, even though the front seat belts have pyrotechnic pretensioners to tighten the belt presently of impact. And should you forget to place belt on, the C1 will alert you to this by way of a warning buzzer. And needless to say the Citroen C1 has tire pressure monitoring fitted as standard, as well since the usual complement of stability control and ABS. In the spine you'll find a couple ISOFIX child seat mounting points, while Bluetooth connectivity is definitely an option. Given its size, it's not surprising that Citroen C1 Practicality isn't its strongest feature. In spite of this, it's going to relatively comfortably sit for adults and also some bags. With the back seats set up, the boot holds 196 liters of luggage. In case you should carry passengers, then folding a corner seats liberates an overall of 780 liters of space. The glass tailgate reveals a rather wide opening too, although boot depth includes it might be tricky to lift heavy belongings in and out. Taller adults may find it hard to sit behind those of a similar height though, because the seat backs are relatively thick. And it's made a lot more apparent from the optional Airscape trim, the information presented roof as well as its mechanism robbing rear passengers of headroom by some margin. If you experience the wind inside hair feeling then a corner seats are for youngsters only. Legroom isn't perfect back there either, and passengers inside a VW Up or Skoda Citigo enjoy a lot more space from the back.